in CRL, Akron is one of them.
Akron is absolutely one of them, and I'm scared for anybody that's playing Akron, because that guy just touched the ball right there, Tristan. Tristan has been the best player in the East for multiple seasons now, and the guy's got himself a nice, juicy E-United contract now, playing for a pro team, going to be playing in the major as well. Tristan has looked better and better in the RLCS, and that's only going to help him here in CRL. It's obviously a bit of a different flow and a bit of a different taste, but Akron's team have always relied on Tristan's ability to create space with his car and with his mechanics. I don't really expect the game plan to change too much from Akron than what we've seen in seasons past.
And you said it, his mechanics. So that was something that set him out even before he was on E-United. Back in the national championship when they got their title, Tristan was a huge part of that, and he is so comfortable in the air. And now Tristan, from a distance, top corner, will open up the score sheet for Akron.
Launches it. Good luck, anybody on on Penn State. Nobody was expecting Tristan to just shoot the ball.
Perfectly timed bounce.
Right on the bounce.
Perfectly timed. That was, you can't time that any better.
No. Likelihood he gets another long ball like that, probably small, but he's already creating a little bit of havoc on the back end for Penn State. You know, Penn State, they used to be a top presence in Collegiate Rocket League. Tennis Master was a part of that roster. Rem as well, but Cambam, who is the latest addition to this roster, Tennis Master shot blocked by Buzz. It's going to continue for Penn State. Another shot forcing Reticence up, and Buzz will get the follow-up, so no sweat for Akron. But Penn State have been longing to get back to those top 4 days, but it's been a struggle. This is Tennis Master's last season, Rem's as well, so if they want to, you know, put themselves up there as one of the best teams in the East, this is the biggest test.
And you're right, the biggest test, not only from a time perspective and them needing to get that result before they're out the door, but just looking at how impressive the talent has gotten for CRL. And you even look at Northwood, a team that is completely comprised of players that play this game at a professional level. And even here, Tristan, who's on E-United. So the level of play continues to go up season after season.
Ooh, that was a nice draw up by Akron, but Buzz was a little late, and so his shot couldn't be the best right into a defender. But, you know, I'm right there with you, James, and the more experience that comes into collegiate, the more experience that comes in, and this will always happen. No matter what level of Rocket League we're watching, every now and again, the old whiff comes out.
And, you know, Tennis Master probably thought Cambam had it. Cambam might have been better off just letting Tennis Master get this one off the backboard. Tennis Master was in position to get that save. Cambam maybe panicking a bit. Unfortunate there for Penn State.
Now, besides Tristan, somebody who has always been a thorn in the side when it comes to trying to win games against this Akron team is Reticence. Reticence is the definition of all reliable. Just constantly in the right spot, able to make the right decisions and get solid touches for his teams. He was a 50s monster last season for Akron. Buzz has developed into quite a passer. So Akron already showing you far and away why they're such a difficult team to get by. Penn State have had very few real opportunities, but that one was given to him by Akron, and Rem was robbed by the crossbar.
That was a tough angle. I think Rem did well to even get it to that point. It was an all-out race. Every millimeter mattered on that play, and he was just millimeters off.
Oh, Penn State have been able to stabilize. Tennis Master just trying not to lose the ball too quickly. And the rest of Penn State fighting to stay outside the box. That was Cambam. He had to fight an attacker on a demo. Penn State get out.
Good air dribble from Rem as well, creating extra space.
Ooh. They're really trying to push it, too. All three players were pushed up past the attacking third. Cambam, you know, with Cambam's positioning earlier, when you sit that close when your teammate's on the opponent's back wall, the pass or the bounce has to be absolutely perfect. If it's even a little off, there's no chance you're going to get the ball on target with any amount of confidence. So Penn State, they're really feeling desperate for a goal. You can understand why. With less than 30 seconds remaining, they've put 6 shots on net, but they've had to save 6 themselves.
Time running out, and it doesn't seem like a comeback is in the cards. Penn State kept on their own half. Akron maybe even able to add one more. Good backboard pass.
And denied. And one more for Reticence. It will go in. 4 seconds remaining. And the Zips gold. Rarely do they concede, and they don't in game 1.
And you could tell that they were starting to put the screws on, even at the end. Penn State, they broke out a few times. Rem almost scoring, putting that one off the crossbar. But in the end, Akron, they just look like the better team. This is going to be such a tough situation for Penn State. This is a star-studded lineup for Akron, and they're showing why.
Yeah, I mean, their reads are a little bit quicker. Like Penn State, they have to take a little bit of time, especially for bounces on the sidewall, whereas Akron are already ready for the bounce before it happens. And that kind of speed, gives you such an advantage on positioning that it's really hard to hang on to the ball. And Penn State just kept getting more relaxed in their rotation, the more on defense that they were. But this is Akron's game. This is exactly how Akron want to play. They're not going to try to out pressure you. They're just going to play keep away. They'll take their shots when they come. They'll win a 50 if it's available for them, but they won't try to, they won't try to starve you of all your boost as quick as possible. They really aren't that kind of team, but this has always worked for them, and Buzz picking up 3 saves for them. Akron, everyone got involved.
It really was a team effort. Everyone got involved, even on the scoring, every single player having a goal to their name. So Akron, a solid game 1. This is what we were expecting. Akron, a team in the East that is a powerhouse. Penn State, they've had a great history in CRL, but Akron, you expect them to do this type of damage, and they have been doing it so far. We'll see if Penn State can bounce back. It wasn't necessarily a blowout either. We saw some chances from Penn State, but this defense is going to be tough to crack.
Yeah, I think the ideas are there for Penn State, and it's just about committing at the right times. That's seems to be so often the downfall of some teams is you feel like you have to take every chance, and taking every chance is never really the play. One of the aspects of a great team is good risk management, and it's not always the idea to take the risk. Even when you are down, sometimes it's a battle of attrition that ends up winning you the day. Akron have proved that many a time. Tristan. Going to carry the ball
and that
out.
was great control, even from the touch up the backboard, the flip into the air dribble. Tristan, so smooth on the ball. We'll see if we can get him in some space, maybe make a highlight play happen.
Well, Tristan, he'll body Cam Bam out of the way here. So Tennis Master, who is second man, is forced onto the ground, and the high ball will send his other teammate up. A lot of high, awkward balls in front for Akron. Penn State don't really know what to do about that. They're always positioned for a quicker ball on a challenge, but then Akron will just push it straight upwards, and they don't have the boost to contend with it, so then they're just forced to let Akron play with the ball high up in the air. But they're able to get the ball out for now. Reticence, tough task, and Buzz came in to take the ball away.
That was a great save, but Jorby, I think that Penn State really has done a pretty good job getting up in the air, challenging these. Now, that was the first one that they've let bounce uncontested off the backboard. But so far, Penn State looking pretty good. And I love this dribble from Rem. Can he finish the play? No, Buzz with a massive stop. He was the last line of defense, but he served the role as firewall, preventing the house from burning down. Buzz, great play.
Akron still haven't gotten out. There's still a few embers that need to be put out. Right behind the ball, Rem. But the rest of Penn State, knowing that clear was coming, the follow-ups have not been consistent, or I guess confident, for Penn State. That second man position, opting to go back, but instead Tennis Master pushes forward. Cam Bam, credit on the assist. Penn State on the board.
This dribbling is really working for Penn State. Tennis Master, also the side flip there was exactly what the doctor ordered. A great positioning play from him. The challenge perfect. And the dribbles really working out.
And, I mean, Cam Bam had to keep that on his car with no boost. He had it, he was going supersonic with it. And you got to be really careful. You don't want to tilt your car too far. Here's a nice passing play from Penn State.
Wow.
Oh, that bounce. I thought that was going to be favorable, but it was read really well by Akron.
And that was an insane touch from Tristan to even get that ball back out to the middle. But Penn State, they're not laying down. They're looking ferocious. And now an open net. Tennis Master able to put that one lower corner. Penn State with a 2-goal lead. I love this from them. They're not backing down whatsoever.
No, Reticence is actually the guy committing the boo-boo on Akron, or Tristan. It depends what was going on in the comms there, because Tristan, he grabs the corner boost, runs towards midfield to make the challenge happen, but then Reticence punches the ball out of the attacker's hands, and Tristan is... I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for that challenge at all. And that left the net open. I was a little stunned because I'm not used to seeing Akron just let one past them like that, but that slight miscommunication can really throw things through a loop.
And it's just one miscommunication that can muck things up for a while. You get out of position, you struggle to get boost. It just throws everything off, but now on the attack, Tristan almost gets that clip.
Those are so tough to defend, too, when it's coming that fast. Especially if you're expecting the shot initially as a defender. To then readjust, and you're like, okay, this ball's coming at 70 miles an hour, but then it's already bounced right back into Tristan, and it's a double. Like, that's why those quick doubles are just so deadly, even at the RLCS level. But and it's Akron are struggling right now.
It's all about keeping it away from the defender, Jorby. When you get the when you have a defender, and you know they're in position where they have no chance at blocking the backboard bounce, and then you can get that hard shot right after. It's just unblockable if you can execute it. Tristan, he was close to hitting it, but sometimes the angles are just too hard. And Buzz gonna bring Akron within one. Let's take another look at this one on the replay.
Ooh, just one midfield challenge. Cam Bam was still rotating back. No boost canister spawned for him. Tennis Master was first on that rotation. He was still coming back. It had to be a win in midfield from Rem, and he couldn't get it done. Right into the back of the net, and hope for Akron in game 2.
And that was a massive challenge from Buzz. Had to take matters into his own hands. Another quality challenge. This will give a shooting opportunity for Tristan, but Penn State doing a much better job. And oh my, Rem sneaking this one over the third man. Reticence was not expecting this.
We talked about Tristan's perfectly timed shot from the ramp on his own side, but Rem gets one of his own there. Perfectly timed the flip on the bounce. And I mean, you can't ask for a better trajectory, James. That was easy, a layup.
It was a strange ball for Reticence because he sees it bouncing straight off the ceiling. You don't really expect a shot right on net from that situation. It completely caught him by surprise. Well struck ball by Rem, who's come close to quite a few good plays, but almost able to finish him out. That time, he does it.
Oh, well, this is over the head of Tennis Master, and well, the positioning has certainly been very aggressive from both sides, but these midfield challenges are proving deadly.
Rem was on 0. He didn't have the boost to really contest that ball, and Tristan is not a player that you want to be going into a 50 situation with on empty. He is going to punish you every time.
Is that going to be in? It is. Penn State just win this ball on the kickoff. Tennis Master just flips it right by Reticence, who took the riskiest challenge possible. Buzz, he had no boost. What is he going to do?
Tristan might have thought that he was mind gaming the attacker. He might have thought that him going towards that ball would have fended off that player and allowed his teammate to come in and take the ball, but nobody from Penn State was fooled. Tristan going for that boost completely left his teammates high and dry. His teammates weren't expecting that, and there was no chance. And an awesome game from Penn State, Jorby. I thought this was going to be a 3-0.
I thought for sure, too. I mean, you mentioned the dribbling, like when Cam Bam got the pass out earlier. Or excuse me, I think it was Rem, actually. But Like, and then they kept dribbling it, and it kept working. You're like, wow, the dribbling's really working for Penn State. And then it never not worked. Like the ground game has been super effective for them, and Akron were limited to 4 shots on net. I don't know how many times in the history of Tristan, Buzz, and Reticence I've seen them limited to 4 shots.
Yeah, and you just don't expect them to lose in this situation either. But this game, Penn State, they matched up pretty well game 1. They had a few moments. It seemed like maybe their offense wasn't going to have enough teeth. We've seen that before, where teams can continue to generate those opportunities, but they lack that finesse, that touch to really put them over the top. And I was wondering if that was going to be the situation for Penn State, but not the case in game 2. It looks like they've got all the tools to pull out an upset victory, but it's going to have to be a great series from them in order to do so. This is a talented team from Akron, former champions, but they are not invincible.
Indeed, and that veteran presence of Tennis Master, also Rem, might be starting to come into play for them, although, if anyone is going to match them or beat them in experience, it's this team on the other side of the pitch. But we've mentioned the gap that we feel that these two teams have between each other, and Akron are on the upper side of that gap. But Penn State, not to be trifled with completely. Akron are forced to really roll this ball around their own half. They can't find any real ways out against Penn State, but it's going to be tough because Penn State aren't working on perfect boost totals. They do steal a couple of their own, and some awkward bounces forces 2 up for Penn State on the first save.
Tristan, see what he does. Oh, Tristan! Ooh. He wanted to go for the double tap, and he was trying to make the most out of that double commit. We saw it. Oh, a bump from Reticence as well. Could be good. Tristan airborne, and that's in. The bump from Reticence starting this play off.
Yeah, Reticence starts it, like you said, with a key bump. Buzz gets a key follow-up, and there's no one else behind the ball you want there. And with an easy
with all
rebound.
These keys, Jorby, you're certainly going to be able to unlock the goal.
He's feeling pretty good.
I wonder if, these. Do you think these cars are auto start, or do you think that there's keys?
It's remote start. It's like, yeah, Tristan start. It's the Dominus has remote start. Octane, it's the super hardcore sweaty vehicle. So, Cam Bam bangs it off the crossbar for a Penn State goal.
Cam Bam. And again, it's the dribble. That little flick from Tennis Master. I love that selfless play. Tennis Master could have easily tried to go for the flick, go for the shot himself, take the glory, but no, that side flip was a perfect setup.
I could feel him smiling because Tristan was shadowing Tristan on that, Tristan was shadowing Tennis Master on that carry, and Tennis Master was acting like he's going right, and then immediately cut in before he flicked, and that put Tristan out of position. He had to use all of his boost to come back to try to make that save happen. So, the dribbling, not just helping in the space department, but also forcing players out of slight position on Akron. Penn State, it's working for them, but can the Nittany Lions find another? Akron seem a little bit more stable on defense, but here comes Rem and company down back the field.
I don't know. Penn State, I counted them out. I was expecting so much from Akron, but Penn State has been very impressive. I think in terms of cohesion and team plays, they are looking much better right now than Akron is. Akron, we know they've got the raw talent, but the synergy for Penn State has been impressive to say the least.
Even right here, back on the rotation, not nearly as many balls blown by the third man, something that they struggled with in game 1. But since game 1, it's been a completely new Nittany Lions team. And the Zips are struggling to find consistent possession, but Reticence will take the next one here, really trying to mix it up. And he did get the ball out to Tristan. Buzz will come back down onto the ball, but not before it's cleared down. Tennis Master.
Bam Bam. Pushing it down. Tennis Master with a dunk. Buzz can't get the save. Unbelievable play. And we asked if Penn State would get another one. Yes, they do. Tennis Master. He got a 50 dunk earlier. Gets another one here. And that couldn't come at a bigger moment for the Lions. Bam Bam. Tennis Master now trying to keep this out. Reticence will pop it up. Cam Bam, light touch. Tennis Master booming clear. They needed that. Rem will chase it down. Gets another touch as well. Reticence has a lot of boost to work with. Will start the counterattack. Great challenge from Cam Bam. He gets demoed, however, and now Tristan with the 50. Cam Bam, great respawn location. Tennis Master with the support and a follow-up from Cam Bam out to the middle. Chaos. Buzz able to turn around and get that save in time. It's not over yet for Akron. The favorites finding themselves battling from behind. Less than 30 seconds left to go. Rem. Now Tristan. See what he can do. Akron's final moments.
Now, this is the last attempt here for Buzz. If he's back to it, no, it just kicked out away from him. Tennis Master's already downfield. That shot was too weak. And now Tristan has one more chance with the little bit of boost that he has, taken away by Rem. Buzz is in front. The shot bounced. That was so close, but Sneakus threw a shot.
That brings a whole new meaning to buzzer beater. Buzz with a second left. That was massive. Akron tie this one up. And now, unless something crazy happens, which it might, we will see overtime. What a game this has turned out to be.
I still can't believe Buzz got that goal. I do not know how Buzz got that goal. And now he launches another one. Tennis Master has the save. Well, overtime has picked up the pace. That goal being scored has certainly jolted the hearts of everybody on the pitch, and the speed has just picked up. Here comes one more for Cam Bam, but he ended up giving it up. Penn State's rotations have been solid. Their challenges have been great, but for how long can they hold off this Zips team as they march downfield? Here's a pass to Buzz from Tristan, denied. Cam Bam quickly up on the challenge. Reticence has nowhere to go.
Multiple good challenges. Rem's second effort as well. That'll buy some time. Penn State, this is it for them. They've got to get this win. You know, it would be too much to come back from. But Penn State has showed so much fight. I wouldn't put it past them to get a win here in overtime.
It's going to be tough with Tristan behind the ball, but Tennis Master is up to the task. Buzz launches another high one. Rem lost on the post, but Cam Bam bails him out. And yet again, the Penn State defense hold firm. Reticence pops it over, and the third man, Rem, will keep it back in midfield. A little boost is stolen from Penn State, but they still are preventing shots from Akron. Akron have only generated 4 shots on net. Instead, they're scrambling towards midfield. Reticence barely hanging on to the ball. And here comes again Cam Bam, no boost. Buzz has the clear.
Rem beats Tristan to the ball. Reticence doesn't get the greatest touch. This could be a chance for Penn State.
Uh-oh. Ooh, Cam Bam ended up launching it low. It was going to be an easy save for Buzz, but he's late to
Tristan.
The ball. Tristan completely missed it. Reticence barely gets the touch. Tennis Master back to Rem. Cam Bam's there. No, it's off the post. Tennis Master scores. Penn State are one away from upsetting Akron.
Tristan missed that on the backboard, and that throws everything off. Scrambling. The Zips tried to keep this ball out, but it was not in the cards. Penn State, despite giving up the lead with a second left on the clock, fight back to win in overtime. And that is how you build character, Jorby.
Oh my gosh, the best characters are in blood, and there was a lot of blood on that pitch at the end, James.
Blood and oil.
There was blood and
whatever
oil
body shop
slicked all over the place.
Gets these cars work, you know, they're going to be rich. It was getting
the mechanics of Rocket League, they make more money than I want to admit on stream, James. It's astronomical. You wonder what the eggs got to pay to get into one of these stadiums, man.
I mean, to get entertainment like
cheap.
this, I'm assuming the tickets are astronomically expensive, because that was one of the most exciting games that I have seen in quite some time on CRL. This was such a good game, and especially when you've got Akron, who are the favorites in this matchup. You got Penn State coming in as underdogs, and to perform like that, this is a special series.
Yeah. I mean, Cam especially, man, on defense, like, he was so quick on those reads. He knew exactly what Akron were going for every time they were behind the ball, and he just cut off any single pass attempt that they had. Even when Tristan was trying to carry the ball, trying to get a flip reset, or trying to give himself options, because they didn't have any options. No space for Akron. And game 4's got to be different. But Penn State, you also can't rest on your laurels. And will they pitch across from box to box? Reb gets credit, Penn State.
Just look at this pinch. Whoop. Blasted. Everyone says that, right? You know, you're in ranked, you're with your buddy. You're like, all right, ball's coming at us. Let's go for the pinch. That's 1 in 100 right there.
How many calculators do you throw in chat? As many until Psyonix bans my account. That's how many I throw.
You go for it, but rarely do you hit it that perfectly.
It was a beaut. Buzz put the shot and 2 commit. This has probably been the one consistent flaw of Penn State, is when they feel a little bit of pressure in front of that box and one player isn't already in net, they tend to double commit. But it hasn't really gotten them into too much trouble overall in this match, so it's something that you definitely want to keep note of whenever Akron start turning the screws, if you will, on this Penn State defense. But it's Penn State who is punching nails into the box of Akron, and they got away with 1, but everyone's sitting low on boost now.
We'll see how Akron responds. Penn State having such an amazing series, but the passing play again saved. So many saves from Penn State, and now the dribble plays. Cam Bam doesn't get the bounce, but he does force the Zips to use up a lot of precious boost to try to get this ball out.
I think Akron need to start getting dirtier on the pitch. Buzz needs to start going for bumps and demos. He's done that a lot for Akron in the past when they've struggled to get the ball going on offense. But this is the only guy to take any shots is Buzz with 4. Tristan and Reticence have 0 2 minutes into this. That is not going to net you success as Akron. Reticence gets a clear here, but midfield has been all Nittany Lions, and Tristan was given a gift from the Lions, and Akron take the lead and tie it up.
Tennis Master misses that there. I don't think Rem was expecting the miss from Tennis Master. And the ball comes down. Maybe he thought he was going to put it to the side. I think he was just in a rough spot. After that miss, you're forced to react so quickly, especially when you're expecting the hit.
Oh, 2 commit, but Rem's touch was good enough to prevent a quick counterattack from Akron, but Tristan's just allowed to dribble the ball, and that was Dominus power, man. Only a Dominus could ever flick the ball like that. You see the vertical speed? That was crazy.
Like he flipped that ball with a spatula.
Accurate. Ooh, Tennis Master. And, you know, I've met Tennis Master a couple of times. That is going to sneak by the net. And I know that he's got to be feeling so hype right now with how they're playing against Akron, but you can't get too jittery. You got to maintain that composure that has gotten you to this point within 1 game of taking down Akron, but they're a tough cookie, and Reticence puts another one in. Akron
and
has the lead.
This was not a free goal. The defense had recovered in time. You see Rem on the goal line, Cam Bam jumping. Strong shot from Reticence. That's what it takes. Great composure. And now Akron, perhaps they'll stabilize the series. Their life on the line. Penn State just 1 game away from getting a huge upset over Akron.
Oh, that's a big win from Tristan, and Tennis Master barely makes the save. Tristan says it's my goal anyway! Akron, 3 goals!
Tristan, that second effort, and the bump put him back to the wall. That was actually incredibly fortunate for Tristan. It might be off camera, but Tristan gets bumped immediately back to the wall so he can get down to the ground and take that shot. Unreal.
Poor Cam Bam thought Tristan pulled the Houdini. Like, I just saw you in the air. How are you right there to take the shot?
How is he back?
What? How does this happen? Bumps don't work for the guy I bumped.
Sometimes they do.
Oh, Penn State.
And that's something to get salty over. And another one comes through Akron. It was like throwing a rock at a beehive. Akron now swarming out. Stingers lodged in the net of Penn State.
Ooh. If you weren't salty before, well, a couple of bee stings will certainly bring out a couple of tears. But Penn State, man, I gotta say, you know, Akron might win game 4, and this is gonna go to game 5. But I'm still not willing to call it over. I'm still not willing to be like, okay, Akron are back to form, we're good to go. I think Penn State have the blueprint. I think they have the ability. They've done it for 2 games already, and while Akron has certainly gotten the better of them, there's also been some fortune going their way.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jorby. I think that, you know, well, this game is over as Reticence gets the 5th goal for Akron. I think that Penn State can still win this series. This is just one of those games, and sometimes you see this in Rocket League from time to time, where that game that gets out of hand, where you're ready to just move on. But Penn State, they've proven that they've got what it takes. The dribbling from Tennis Master, the dribbling from Cam Bam, Rem, also making some dribbles work. We saw great ball movement, the synergy, the spacing, the challenges, rotating quite well. Penn State, they are having a series, so we'll see. We'll see how Game 5 shapes up. If Akron can shake things off, I think that they're still the favorites. Tristan, we've seen him make a few mistakes that you don't expect from him, and one of them that led to the goal last game that allowed Penn State to get the win. So you just don't expect Tristan and Akron to be playing as poorly as they have been in this series, but still got to give credit to Penn State for playing such a solid game.
Absolutely. And, you know, besides Tristan, I thought Reticence as well, I was talking about earlier. I don't feel like he's had his best match. Like, I felt like he's always the solid decision maker for Akron, and he'll get them out of tough situations or just make the best play possible as second man. But he's taken more risks than I'm used to seeing him take, and they've gotten his team burned a couple of times. Obviously, Akron were Akron in Game 4, but as we head to Game 5, these mistakes are still to note because another 5-minute game could net us a completely different result. And Penn State, they have a lot to pick at in terms of defensive holes on the side of Akron.
Yeah, you know, we'll see how good Tristan's feeling. If he's making plays like he did in this game, I think it's going to be very tough for Penn State. But Penn State, they've already proven me wrong. I'd never expected this to even go Game 5. So this has been just amazing. And Penn State, can they make the upset happen? We saw them fight through adversity when they gave up the lead. What was it, in Game 2 or 3, where they had that 1 second left on the clock, gave up the lead, tied it 2-2.
Yeah, Buzz.
And they still ended up winning that in overtime. So you know that Penn State's got the mental game to pull this off.
Absolutely. 100%, man. I think that, like, Game 1, trying to formulate my thought here because I was thinking about Rem, and I thought he was really struggling in Game 1. He felt lost on the pitch, was expecting certain challenges to go his way. They didn't, and then he'd find himself out of position. But since then, if the last game Cam Bam impressed me, Rem has also really stepped up in the last few games. So, you know, in Rocket League, the team that has the 3 most capable players are going to win. It's just, more times than not, that is how it always happens. Rarely does a single player or 2 players carry a team to victory against a team of 3 really strong players. And I think we have 6 strong players right now in the microcosm of this match. And as we're on Champions Field, Akron not expecting to be here. Reticence going to put it in the net, and Akron are right back on track.
Even last game, Reticence is in these situations where, you know, there are defenders in net. He's got to make the accurate shot, and he does it yet again, placing it high over the defender who was sitting there on all 4s. Got to pre-jump that if you want to have a hope of stopping it.
And Tristan made it. The read was real difficult for both players sitting on the back wall. Hang on a second. Penn State are right back on the board. Cam Bam on the assist is Rem.
Cam Bam, that's one way to make things happen. Reading that bounce, Rem doing some heavy lifting on that double tap. So a quick back and forth, and we're right back where we started, Jorby.
Square one. Oh no. That's not how you draw that up. That's not how you draw that up at all. Neither team wanted that to happen. Akron didn't want to lose the kickoff, and Penn State certainly didn't want to miss the free goal.
I mean, it was one of those situations where it's too rough. The ball was going too fast, but Tristan now on the other end. Tennis Master expecting a bit of a different situation. Tristan, not only does he get the demo, but he recovers in time to get this ball that's rolling down the goal line incredibly fast. What a play from Tristan.
How do you make it so that when you get bumped, it's always back into position, Tristan? I don't get it.
Card control.
Picks up the save. Card control. For sure. Ooh. You know, something that Penn State really struggling with now, besides every 50, is midfield, where that's when the snowball tends to happen, when you consistently lose those challenges in midfield, or if you can't push it from midfield like that. Like, that whiff is absolutely going to kill Penn State. Oh, Cam Bam! Patience! Woo.
That was a beautifully executed double tap from Tristan, but an even better save from Cam Bam, who again gets a quality 50, and now a 2v1 Rem up. Cam Bam going for the demo. He hits the demo, and we are back to a tie game.
Cam Bam gets the explosion he's looking for. Rem on the carry. The defender's looking up, and he's seeing stars now. Nothing but a smoke screen for Rem to fly through, and Penn State making a match of it in game 5. Woo! This has been so fast, and now 2 cheat-ups. Cam Bam, like that last progression, James, like now they're coming off the ceiling. Tennis Masters picking up a quick challenge. Neither team wants to be the slow one. Reticence picks up the next save.
And Reticent's going to have to chase this down with no boost. Buzz also low.
Good challenge. Well, that's going to be a dead play. I thought Cam Bam was maybe going to shovel that ball down to Tennis Master. He's going to have to shade in front to block the pass, but that's not the best touch for Tennis Master. This actually puts Penn State in a tough position. Tristan lets it drop for Buzz. 1. He got 2. No, he drops it for Reticence. It's saved by Tennis Master, and Penn State get out of probably the toughest situation I've seen them in yet against Akron. Tennis Master, another dribble on the 50, and quickly challenged was Cam Bam. Rem quickly up to the ball. Akron finally some space for Tristan. No, Tennis Master's right on top.
And a great succession of challenges for Penn State, giving no space to this Akron team.
Another good clear into a gap. The rest of Akron were trying to reload on the boost, but Rem wins another favorable 50 off of Buzz. Cam Bam can't beat Tristan to the ball. Now it's up to Tennis Master. He wanted a pass, but it ends up falling down into Tristan anyway. Here again, Rem back to Cam Bam, who puts it off the ceiling, and it rolls interestingly. Probably not the kind of touch he wanted. Tennis Master definitely didn't want that, but Tristan finds the goal. Penn State can't grab the rebound. Akron have a late lead.
And this is devastating. Tennis Master wanted to roll it up the wall, ends up bouncing it off the side. Rem doesn't get the height on the challenge. And that is a tough break for Penn State. Tennis Master gonna feel horrible about that touch.
They still got time. And maybe with that 50, they can start the push to tie it up again. But Akron have been a force. Here's Tristan off the ceiling. He's got 1 winger in Reticence, but well, they're going to let that drop, and Reticence will at least make a 50 before he is on his way out. That was interesting. Buzz, I think he got chipped before he found that touch. Wow. Reticence getting another massive challenge win, James. And Penn State struggling more and more to hang on to this ball. And that's the second pinch like that for Buzz to get another clear.
Shooting opportunity for Reticence.
Is in the air. Oh, triple commit. It's still in the air. Buzz got 2 taps, and there it is. Akron take insurance late in game 5.
And a massive play from Buzz. Gets the double tap. Well executed. That was quite the exchange. We saw Penn State go down the field, get denied. Akron charging right back. A series of shots And that is why they were the former champs, Jorby. Under pressure, they know how to play.
This has always been their biggest forte. When it comes to high-pressure situations, Akron always pull out. The most resilient team in all of Collegiate Rocket League. East or west or south or north. It doesn't matter. Akron hanging on against Penn State, who put up a mighty effort. But Buzz and company are a little too strong right now. With 30 seconds left, the Nittany Lions are in miracle territory.
See if Tennis Master can catch this. Gonna need to make a play happen. Faking out one. Gotta see a goal right now, Jorby. Otherwise, you feel it's over for Penn State. This is the last chance. And there it goes.
But that's probably it for sure. 10 seconds left. If there's time on the clock, there is hope, as little as it might be, but the light slowly fades out in this match. Penn State, quite an effort, but effort's only one part of the equation. Wow. Akron come out with the W. What a match.
What a match that was, Jorby. I'm 100% with you. That was so entertaining. Penn State, that first game, we thought it might be a 3-0 in favor of Akron, but no, Penn State making it a series. And it wasn't just Akron playing poorly. I'm sure they made some mistakes, but Penn State was forcing those mistakes on them. They were so quick to the ball, not giving any space on the challenge. Great trust from teammates. We saw the dribbling slowing down the play. That was an excellent performance from Penn State, and you feel for them. You know, this game was within reach. The series was within reach. But Akron, they pull out on top. They're going to stay undefeated, but man, they came close.
Now, I think Penn State, they'll hear something right now I'm about to say. They've heard it often in other collegiate sports of theirs, but I think this one we could definitely chalk up as a quality loss for Penn State. And, you know, it's not the greatest title to get out of a match, but nobody gave them a lick of a chance in this match. Everyone had 3-0 on the mind. And to put up the kind of effort that they did and look as good as they did doing it, I don't think you could so easily count out Penn State in the future. I think they're a little more than just a long historical mainstay this season. I'm excited to see more out of them. And I'm excited, James, to see more Rocket League. We got 3 more matches coming up for the rest of the night. Collegiate Rocket League hammers on after the break.
One more good